Events to remember the few who fought the Luftwaffe 70 years ago. A minute's silence was held and the flypast included a Spitfire to commemorate the battle which helped change the course of the war with Nazi Germany. Here's Robert Hall.
In a sky of the brightest blue, sights and sounds familiar to the men, once young, who flew during another summer when their country was under threat. Above the white cliffs of Kent, the last airworthy Spitfire from the Battle of Britain saluted the survivors of the few. "3,000 names are carved on the wall of remembrance here. 500 of them lost their lives between July and October 1940.
Hurricanes and Spitfires roar into action.
Hour after hour, day after day, RAF squadrons flew continuous missions against Hitler's Luftwaffe, short of pilots and aircraft, but never of courage.
It saved the world. I don't think that's exaggerating it. If we'd failed, if the Luftwaffe had beaten us, it would have been a different world.
Prince Michael of Kent led tributes at the foot of the Aircrew Memorial, a simple carved figure gazing across the old battleground.
Behind each name, a story lies of bravery in summer skies.
At the close, William Walker, who'd volunteered for service in 1939, read the poem he'd written to carry the story to today's generation.
Outnumbered, every day they flew, remembered here as just the few.
Robert Hall, BBC News at Capel Le Fern in Kent.
Australian driver Mark Webber has won the British Grand Prix, beating the British McLaren drivers Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button into second and fourth, respectively. Kevin Geary reports from Silverstone.
Under another day's blazing sunshine, they packed Silverstone to capacity, even though there was little prospect of a British win. The crowd's principal allegiance is to the spectacle, above team loyalty. A bit like Red Bull, really. The team whose brand gives you wings only gave its new Go Faster wing to one of its drivers, Sebastian Vettel. His oppo, Mark Webber, was mightily displeased and, being Australian, cussedly showed how much by muscling his way past his colleague, leaving Vettel running off and collecting a puncture that sent him from pole position to back marker. In the confusion, Lewis Hamilton, watched by his father, sneaked up from fourth to second. Excitement-wise, that was about it at the front. But further back, Jenson Button, after his disastrous qualifying session, was gamely picking his way through the field, eventually finishing a creditable fourth. But Webber was never threatened. His relish at turning a perceived disadvantage to triumph conveyed emphatically to his team.
Great job. You won the British Grand Prix. Well done.
Fantastic, guys. Not bad for a number 2 driver. Cheers.
For Hamilton, a decent result, though second is not where he likes to be.
Those guys are just so fast. I knew that out of pure pace, I wouldn't be able to outpace them. But the first couple of laps, you know, it looked like he was struggling, and it was a great chance for me to maybe get past, and it still was so hard because we were both struggling.
Well, a race that didn't promise much for Britain's two McLaren drivers actually ended up much better than expected. Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button are still first and second in the Drivers' Championship, but the Red Bulls are quicker and they're catching them. Kevin Geary, BBC News, Silverstone.
Well, there's more from the newsroom at 10 o'clock. Now on BBC One, the news where you are this evening. Goodbye.